1962. Two young creators were lucky enough to close the issue of an amazing comic called The Amazing Fantasy. Amazing Fantasy was not really selling good, and to try to don't waste any good idea, the duo tried to use a character that it was considered a failed experiment. A boy too nerdy with no money at all, based on an animal that nobody likes, a spider. The Amazing Fantasy was not really selling good, it was already closed, but the people went so crazy about this nerdy boy called Peter Parker. A guy that he had no money and even got glasses. So Stan Lee and Steve Ditko, they spent all their money to open just an issue and a series just for him called The Amazing Spider-Man. And the rest, well, is history. Hi guys, I'm your friendly neighbor Stephen Glana, and today I would like to announce once this new project in which we're gonna analyze and see the very first episode of the important opera. And why not start off with my favorite one among them all, Spider-Man. What I'm asking from you is an effort because the drawings are very old, so different from what we are used to now. So at the end of the day, at the end of the video, please let me a comment and tell me if you would have give a chance to these comics. And if you want to invest this time with me, you will understand why Spider-Man nowadays is so important. And all the answers are in this comic. On the first pages, we can clearly see that he's an outcast. People call him a freak, so not the best of the starts. And unlike the movies, the intro starts straight away. It tells us that he has been bitten by a radioactive spider, that he tried to be part of show business by designing a costume, and that a thief killed his uncle while trying to rob his house. The situation of Peter Parker is the shit of the shit. Without his uncle, they have no money at all, and of course they need to pay rent. At a certain point, he tries to quit school to look for a full-time job, but Aunt May says no. From this fact, Peter cannot get money because since actually wants to keep his secret identity, because of tax records, he cannot receive cash. So at the end of the day, Peter Parker with the costume as a Spider-Man, he cannot get any money. And that's a massive and huge problem. Because at the end of the day, he will do that kind of job, he will save lives, he will work his arms off for nothing. But that's not all. The editor J. Jonah Jameson makes him lose his job as a Spider-Man, calling him a threat to the city, also praising that people should like real heroes like his son John. Peter is always in deep shit, complaining because it's not fair, and it's not. Other superheroes have none of these problems. It's like being a cop, saving lives, but not even getting paid for it. Cherry on top, at a certain point he decided to forget about being Spider-Man and to look for a normal job. But he fails again because people are not looking for a school kid. Feeling even more like shit when he sees Aunt May secretly try to sell her own wedding ring for some money. Now, do you understand why Spider-Man is so popular even nowadays? Because it's very relatable. People were so bored about rich or flawless superheroes like Batman or Iron Man that they live in massive houses. Peter, he has no money, he has a potential that he cannot use, he cannot even study in peace. And this is a mirror of a generation, even nowadays. Because if you don't have rich parents or if you don't have a house to inherit, life can really suck. You might be a slave of a job that you don't even like without even getting one shot. Part 2 opens with the launch of Jameson's son's rocket. It was 1963. We still didn't have the first man on the moon. America was so obsessed with space, also because of the Cold War, and apparently the Russians reached space way before the Americans. So the Americans had to do something more. No more the space, but the moon. All the second part shows the rocket launch going wrong, and Peter tries to take this occasion to save John and the city. After Spider-Man works his ass off to save Jameson's son, Peter is too humble and shy to face the crowd, because he's too shy to receive compliments. At the end of the day, it thinks, now they'll give me the job. But no! Jameson's newspaper asks for his arrest, justifying everything as a Spider-Man plot to steal his son's spotlight. I have no words. But the problem is that people believe the newspaper. Even Aunt May believes it. And the issue number one of every comics at all, actually, they try to put more stuff into it, to try to make you involved. And on the first issue there are 2 stories. And on the second story we see the real very first battle. And another things that I love about Spider-Man are the villains, that they are so amazing, so colorful and so iconic in a certain way. And maybe you don't know that the first villain to ever fight Spider-Man is the Chameleon. And don't get me wrong, I love reptiles, but maybe it's not really the best of the best. It's just like a Russian spy that changed. The story opens with Spider-Man trying to join the Fantastic Four, but they tell him they are a no-profit organization, so they pay no salaries. In the meantime, the Chameleon is plotting to impersonate Spidey for his bad plans. Like if Peter didn't already have enough trouble. Of course the Chameleon is successful. Everybody blames Spider-Man, and this is enough even for him, so he wants to face him face to face, calling him a commie, since the Chameleon is a Russian. Haha. Page 9 made me so angry, because at the beginning Spider-Man catches the Chameleon, but the villain runs away easily with a smoke bomb. Okay, he may be inexperienced, but bloody hell, at a certain point he finishes the web liquid. And here I have the first things I don't like. In the 60s, in the well-known space race, being a scientist, it means being strong. That's why America even nowadays is investing a lot about scientists. The problem is that you have been bitten by a radioactive spider. You are Spider-Man. You cannot possibly use the technology to just use the web slingers. You cannot do that. You cannot just die because you're flying or you're swinging between place to place because you finished the liquid. It's so ridiculous. That's why the movie director of the first Spider-Man, Sam Raimi, he was so right. Even better, I'm so sorry to say, than the original opera. After a very easy battle, Spider-Man is able to deliver the Chameleon to justice, ending the legendary first number of a very lucky series. In my humble consideration, this comics is really important because, like in Batman Year One, it tells that at the end of the day, the superheroes are not really flawless. Okay, even the classic sentence "from great power you have great responsibilities" is almost a curse. If you have the chance to save somebody, even if you have nothing in return, you will still do it, even if it costs your life forever. So you still sacrifice your life for a society that doesn't give you nothing in return. So why are you still doing it? That is the big break between a villain and a superhero. Plus, as addition number 1, this is very down to earth, even because there was the legendary Steve Ditko. Steve Ditko really loved the Mafia and he tried to put a lot. If you would like to continue this series, it was really amazing. And you can actually feel very relatable because, you know, there's no magic, stuff like that. The people actually, all the villain, they're using the science actually to try to fight Spider-Man. And he also used the science and he studied science. He's a very good student. So guys, actually, I would like to finish this video here to try to make it too big as a first project. So let me know if you like it. Let me know if you would have actually give a chance to this comic if you had read the first time at a time. And just give me some suggestion here in the comments which other comics or opera or anime or even cartoon would you like to analyze with me. It would be amazing. I hope actually be successful for you guys, and thank you very much. And see you in the comments and see you again next time. Thank you so much.